What's up, dudes? I'm the Dominicator, also known as Master Dominic, and in this video, I'm going to hypnotize you to eat less. As in all of my videos, you will be commanded to leave a comment at the end while hypnotized, so go ahead and log into an account that you can use for that. Mute any distractions, then continue when you're ready to get hypnotized. Alright, dudes. So to begin, look at the circle pattern in front of you, and as you do, just listen to the sound of my voice. Each and every word has a wonderfully mind-melting and appetite-suppressing effect that just continues to grow in intensity. The more that you listen, and the more that you look at that circle pattern, and the more that you can feel a wonderfully magnetic feeling from it. It just feels as if it is drawing out your very thoughts, drawing out your appetite as well. And there's something that just feels so good about this. Something so wonderfully mind-melting about it. The more that you just gaze into the circle pattern in front of you, the more that you just listen to the sound of my voice, the more that you can already feel a good and a positive feeling, in effect, that is taking place inside of you with each and every single drip and drop of the sound of my voice on top of the surface of your mind. It just melts away any and all thoughts of food and replaces them with a wonderful mind-melting and pleasant relaxation. And that just feels so good. That wonderful replacement of all of your own native thoughts with the sound of my voice and with my suggestions and with my commands. There's something that just feels so good about this, and the more that you look at the circles in front of you, the more that you just listen to my voice, and the more that you find yourself just fading, drifting into an even more relaxed state of mind, an even more relaxed and a passive and even obedient state of mind. There's something that just feels so good and so effective about being told and being directed and being suggested to and being commanded to eat less. It's something that just feels so good about the wonderful, warm, masculine, dominant authority of the sound of my voice. The more that you listen to it, and the more that you feel yourself just sinking down, floating down, dropping down into it. And there's something that just makes you want to even more so. Just to fall, to drop, to drift into it. It just feels so wonderfully good, so relaxing, so pleasant. And the more that you listen to my voice, the more easily then you can just drift and drop down into that even more relaxed and passive, obedient state. And in a moment when I click my fingers together and I say the word sleep, then you will drop down, you'll fall down, collapse down into that state. And when you do, it will just feel even better. Even better just to let go of all the cares and worries, stresses and tensions in your mind, as you just embrace the following of my suggestions and my commands. It becomes even easier to do with each and every passing moment, and each and every word, each and every suggestion, and each and every command. It becomes even easier to do, and you feel that heaviness building up even more now, so much more now on the surface of your mind. There's a part of your mind, a part of your body that just wants to go down, to drop down, to fall down, collapse down into that wonderfully relaxed and passive obedient state at any moment now. And the heaviness that builds up so much inside of your mind, inside of your stomach as well, and heaviness in your appetite, and something that just makes you want to collapse into this wonderfully, profoundly relaxed and obedient state. And just to feel the molding, morphing, shifting, and shaping feeling of your own mind as your appetite is just wiped away. And you can feel even more of that heaviness as it builds up so much now. Soon it will come to a point where you can hardly even resist falling down into that wonderfully relaxed, sleep-like state. When I click my fingers together and I say the word sleep, then you will drop down into that sleep. And as you do, then the rest of your mind will just melt, and the remaining thoughts that you have will just melt away and drift away as you drop down into an even more relaxed and profoundly obedient state of sleep. Now, sleep. As you drift down, drop down, fall down into such a wonderfully relaxed and obedient sleep, the more that you do, the more that you can feel the awesome, the wonderful, warm, and masculine, and dominating sound of my voice, and it just has an effect on you and on your mind. With each and every word, you can feel a morphing, a shifting, shaping feeling inside of your mind that just causes your appetite to dampen even more as you think of food less and less. You think of the awesome and powerful, dominant, masculine, male authority figure always inside of you, present around you and above you. Each and every single time that you have a moment of opportunity to eat anything at all, then you'll feel that awesome, that masculine, dominant presence, and you'll hear the suggestion inside of your own mind to take the healthier choice and to take the healthier option whenever it is that you can. And whenever you come to that moment of opportunity, the profound rush of that awesome, wonderful, warm, and masculine, dominant male authority figure just hits you. It just hits you all at once and wipes away any and all thoughts of eating more food than you need to, eating more food than you have to. Something that just feels so good about it, as you know that you're doing it and following and obeying that awesome, masculine, male authority figure. And that just feels so good. It feels so good having a coach, a mentor, a master to follow and to obey. Well, that word master, that just gives you a wonderfully tickly and tingly feeling. And just knowing that you have such a powerful and dominant alpha male master to follow and to obey as you go about eating less and less. And in fact, the more that you do follow and obey this command, that whenever you have these moments of opportunity, that you will take the healthiest choice. Whenever you do, you feel a profound feeling of servitude toward your master, a profound feeling of obedience towards your master. Well, it just feels so good following and obeying your master. And the more that you do, the better and better that you feel. The better that you feel, and the more that you feel your appetite, as it just fades away, it floats away, it just melts away. And the more that it melts away, well, the easier and easier then it becomes just to eat less and less, and just to follow this suggestion, just to follow this command. You don't have to, you don't want to, you don't need to think about anything at all. All that you have to do is just to follow and to obey your master. In fact, whenever you do come to that point, you might find in the past that you've rationalized, that you've thought about your way into eating more food. But whenever you come to these points from now on, then instead you feel the awesome and powerful, dominant, masculine, mind-melting feeling. The presence of your master that just melts away your mind. It just melts away your thoughts. It melts away any and all thoughts of eating more food than you need to, eating more food than you have to. It melts them away and replaces them with a command that you will eat less. And when given the option, you will take the healthier option. And as that option is actualized, as you take the healthier option, well, then you feel the awesome and wonderful feeling of just being so servile and obedient to your master. It just feels so awesome, so wonderful, so good, so mind-meltingly pleasant that it just makes you want to continue doing so. It just makes you want to, just makes you need to continue doing so. You don't want to think about any of it at all. But the more that you try to think about eating more food, the more that you try to think your way into it, the more that you feel a strange and peculiar sensation, a strange and peculiar thing about it, a kind of negativity, a kind of discomfort that just pushes you away from it. There is something more of a comfortable feeling in just following and just obeying, more of a comfortable feeling about allowing your thoughts, cares, and worries just to melt, allowing all of your thoughts about eating more food just to melt away, allowing all thoughts about food that aren't even relevant to just melt away, to drip and drop down inside of you, to fade away, just to evaporate from you. The more that this happens, the easier and easier then it becomes to go on your diet. The easier then it becomes, and the more that you feel nice and happy, a satisfied and fulfilled feeling from following and obeying your master. You don't have to. You don't need to think about any of this at all. All that you need to do is just to follow and obey the commands that I've given you. That just feels so good. That just feels so good that already you can feel a wonderfully tickly, tingly feeling that just courses and that just surges all throughout your body and all throughout your mind. It just feels so good simply following and obeying such an awesome and powerful, dominant master. That just feels so good and becomes exactly what you'd rather do instead. And there's something about this as well that just has a nice and a wonderful, helpful feeling about it, just in and of itself. Something that gives you a sense of esteem and a sense of pride about taking the healthier option each and every single time. Something that with each and every single time you do so, and more so and more so, it becomes a part of you and a characteristic of you. something that you can take pride in, something that you can feel esteem about. And also you feel the good and the positive and the helpful feelings for just eating less. There's a kind of lightness about you, and a kind of lightness about your body, and about your step as well. You can even feel it when you walk around. The less that you eat, the less waterways that you carry around with you, and the more that you'll feel the shift and the change in weight. You'll feel it just so very quickly whenever you begin to reduce your calorie intake. When you feel that change in weight, when you feel that lightness, there's something about it that will just feel so wonderful, so good, so nice, and so helpful that it will cause you to keep making those good and those positive decisions. There's something that just feels so good about this, as it is just such a helpful choice in and of itself, but also the thought of just following, just obeying your master, that just feels so good. That is good enough reason by itself to do exactly as I suggest, to do exactly as I command. It feels so wonderfully positively good, so wonderfully mind-meltingly good, just to follow and just to obey your master, an awesome, powerful, dominant alpha male master. It causes you such a wonderful feeling just to submit to your master, that even right now you have a desire and urge to do that. You have a desire and urge to do that. You have a feeling of the power and the force of my will each and every single time that one of these options come to you. You'll have a feeling that your will is just being completely and totally surrounded, and then it's just being completely and totally squashed and being suppressed. You have a feeling that your will is being dominated by the will of your master, and you can try even to resist. You can try to resist the awesome, the overpowering force of your master's will, subjugating you and your own. But the more that you try to resist, the more you feel the magnetic, the drawing, pulling, and sucking feeling, the impulse to do exactly what it is that I command. You feel the drawing and pulling, the sucking feeling to do exactly what it is that your master commands of you. And so in a little while, I'm going to count you up. I'll count you up on the count of 1 to 3. And as I count you up, you'll feel a nice, wonderfully floaty feeling that'll take you back up. And when you come back up, you'll be in a nice and half-awake, half-asleep state, in which you will leave a comment that says, "Yes, master, I will submit to your will, master. I will eat only what you command, master." And that will become the complete and total and absolute truth, as you'll feel the feeling, the presence of your master, my dominance. And as you go about your day, you'll feel the feeling of that awesome, powerful, masculine, dominant presence that just stays with you, hovers around inside of your mind each and every single day, and at each and every single meal time. You'll feel that presence inside of you, around you, behind you, and something commanding you, directing you to eat only as I command. And so you will leave a comment that says, "Yes, master, I will submit to your will, master, and I will eat only as you command, master." And that will become the complete, total, and absolute truth when you finish leaving the comment, when you submit it. Then you will submit to the will of your master, and it will just feel so awesome, so wonderful, so good, so mind-meltingly pleasant. That'll be all that you can do. You can try to resist it, but the more you try to resist, the more that your mind, that your will just melts, drips, and drops down like putty into my hands as you follow and obey and serve your master instead. Now then, I'll count you up from 1 to 3, and as I count you up then, and you'll feel that lifting and rising, floaty feeling that takes you back up in a kind of lightness already that brings you back up into the waking world. And it'll just feel so good and to be awake and to go about the very, very first day of your diet. And now then, beginning with 1, as you feel the lifting, rising, floaty feeling beginning to take you up already, and 2, coming up even more and further and faster. And now 3, eyes open and awake, my dudes. Alright, dudes, check out Dominicator.com to schedule a session with me to get hypnotized and to look at my digital downloads as well. Catch you later, dudes.